Well, in this video, I'm gonna be walking you through 5 steps, and there's a sub-step as well of how you can accomplish this goal in 2023. But before we get into the steps, there's one thing that I've noticed of why most of us do not actually accomplish the goals that we set out to accomplish for ourselves every single year. One thing that I've noticed for most of us is when we set out to do something, we get motivated, we get excited. We're like, yes, I am going to accomplish this goal. I am going to do this new thing. We set the New Year's resolution and we're like, boom, let's get to it. And then January rolls around, February rolls around, second week in February rolls around, and then we kind of just fall off. And then at the end of the year, we look at ourselves and we're like, dang, I want to accomplish this thing. What happened? Why wasn't I able to accomplish this? And then we say to ourselves, you know what? 2023 is going to be my year. 2023 is going to be new year, new me type of thing. It's like, it's going to be a new year for me. And we keep this cycle. This cycle just repeats itself over and over again. And the reason why I believe most of us are unable to break that cycle is because we depend on one thing, our willpower, motivation. The problem is motivation gets you started, but it definitely does not keep you going because your motivation will change over time. Your motivation will run out. Your motivation will get exhausted. You know why? Because it's called life. Because when stuff hits the fan, motivation alone is not going to be enough. Willpower alone is not going to be enough. You need systems in order for you to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. I don't remember who said this quote, but it says, we don't fail because of our goals, we fail because of our systems. So it is important that we put systems in place as we enter into this new year or as we're closing out this year so we can accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. And in this video, we're going to talk about a system that I've used to pay off over $20,000 worth of debt in about 6 months. The system that I used to be able to accomplish the goals where now I'm saving thousands of dollars every single month, where I'm able to invest and I'm able to live life in the way that I want to live life. Now, can I do every single thing that I want? No. But the systems that I've put in place allows me to do a lot of the things that I do want to. So let's talk about what these systems are. My dad always used to say something. He says, in order for you to know where you're going, first you must know where you are. One of the most important things whenever you're starting to make a decision, starting to decide the route that you want to take to accomplish certain goals, the most important thing you need to figure out is, where am I right now? Where am I right now? If you say, yo, I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Miami Beach, Florida. I want to see the Heat play because D-Wade County and all that stuff. So I want to go to Florida. The route you will take to get to Florida is going to be different if you're in New York versus if you're in Atlanta, right? The transportation mode you're going to select to make that trip is going to be different if you're in New York versus if you're in Atlanta. But most of the time, what we do is we get in our head, I want to accomplish this thing, and we just go. We get excited, we get motivated, and we're just like, I'm gonna do this thing, and we just start walking. We don't even think about like, yo, where am I going? I don't know, but I'm just walking. We just start going. And then all of a sudden, middle of February comes around and we're like, yo, this thing does not work. Everyone keeps telling me to do all of these things, but it does not work. Why? You never figured out where you were. You never determined what is my location right now. So when it comes to our finances, what does that look like? It's simply this. You have to take the time to review where you are. In other words, what are your debts? Write them all down. How much debt? How much do you owe on your credit card? Student loans, auto loans, whatever they are. Write it down and then write down what is the interest rates on each of these debts. You have to write it all down. I know for some of us, we're going to be scared. We're going to be like, this is painful. This is hurt. I don't want to be looking at this right now. But you have to come to terms with it. You have to embrace this or you will never be able to get to where you want to be. And then the second one of that is review your expenditures, review your expenses. Look, if you don't take the time to sit down, look through how you've been spending your money, You wouldn't even know where the holes are. You won't be able to determine for yourself, what are the things I need to make adjustments in? A lot of us have so many subscriptions that we don't even know about, and they're just taking all that money. They're just taking it every month. They're like, whoo, he forgot about us again. Like, let's take some of this money. Let's be excited about this. We enjoying it. They're just eating your money. And you're over here stressing. So you have to review your expenditures. What are the things that you're spending a little bit too much on in this stage of your life that you may need to take a pause on for a while? Or maybe my lifestyle is too expensive. Can I live in the house that I'm living in? Can I drive the car that I'm driving? Reviewing all your expenses. For some of us, it's not going to take that long because we don't spend that much. Things are pretty simple. Boom, good. For some of us, it's going to take us a while. And during this process, when you're looking at where you are, you're going to have to categorize your expenses. You can use something called Ramit Sethi's conscious spending plan. There's going to be a link in the description where he goes through showing you how to do that. But you have to review your expenses to see where the holes are, to see what the problem is with your finances, and then come to terms with it. And then step number 2, make a plan. My dad always said, he who does not plan, plans to fail. He who does not plan, plans to fail. Maybe he wasn't the original person to say this quote, but I don't care. I'm crediting it to my pops. And I heard another quote that said, a goal without a plan is just a dream. And there's a lot of us that are just dreaming right now. For some reason, we think that things just will magically work out because we want it. So it is important that we put plans in place, that we write things down. And when it comes to our finances, the easiest plan that we can put in place is something called the 50-30-20 rule, which is each one of those numbers represent a percentage of your income. 50% goes towards all your needs. So that's things like your utility bills, power, water, phone bill, internet, rent, mortgage, all of these things that we have no choice but to pay, insurance, that we have no choice but to pay, transportation, gas, groceries. These are your needs. Be honest with yourself on what your needs are. You know what's not a need? Going to Chipotle, because you can cook at home. You know what's not a need? Them brand new J's. That's not a need. So 50% goes towards your needs. And then 20 to 30% goes towards your wants. This is where you can go get that brand new J's. This is where you can go eat out. This is where you can go traveling. This is where you can do all the things that you want to do. Go to concerts, all the things you have fun doing. 20 to 30% of your income goes towards this. And then 20 to 30% goes to something I like to call your freedom bucket. So that's saving, that is investing, and that is paying off debt. In other words, this is where the money is going to come from for you to pay off your debt. Now, the beautiful thing about having this plan in place is the flexibility it gives you to adjust. Because I can almost guarantee you that the first time you put numbers down on paper to look through all these categories, your numbers are not going to fit. But what this does allow you to do is now it gives you a target. It gives you a range of like, yo, I may be spending too much on just my needs. Like, maybe it's my car. Maybe it's the insurance that I have. Maybe it's the rent that I'm paying right now. Can I afford to be living in the place that I'm living with? Do I need to maybe get some roommates? Do I need to change the phone service that I'm using? These are some of the biggest changes that you can make that will open up your money, that will open up your budget, that will open up how you can spend your money. Or you can look at your wants and be like, maybe this is just not the season of life where I can travel. Maybe this is not just the season of life I can go to concerts. Maybe this is not just the season of life where I can be eating out every weekend. Maybe this is just not the season of life where I can do all the things my friends want me to do with them. And then your savings category. For me, this is it's my second largest category after my needs because I like saving money. I don't like spending money that much. And this is the other thing for you to keep in mind. Everybody's thing is going to look slightly different. The main thing you want is for your needs to try as much as possible, keep your needs to be below that 50% target. And for your wants not to outpace and overly outshine your freedom bucket. Keep these categories in mind. 50, 30, 20. 50, 30, 20. Keep these things in mind and you can adjust as you move forward. The other thing to keep in mind is as you make these plans, remember one thing. There's something Dwight Eisenhower, who used to be a general in the US, and I think he was a president. He said, plans are useless, but planning is invaluable. Plans are useless, but planning is invaluable. Why? It's a lot easier for you to adjust when you have a plan than if you're just flying blind. It's kind of like driving with a GPS system in your car. It's a lot easier for your GPS to tell you, yo, there's an accident up ahead, take a new route so you can reroute yourself and still get to your destination on time. Versus if you're just driving on your own and then, oh man, now I'm stuck in traffic 2 hours, I can't do it. Nah. But if you have that GPS on and it's navigating you, it's a lot easier for you to reroute. It's a lot easier for you to move money around. It's a lot easier for you to adjust things as you're going through the process. Because guess what? Life will happen as you're going through this process. Life will happen. Adjustments will have to be made. And we'll talk more about that here in a minute. And then pre-step 3 is safety. There's something we do at my job. It's called a safety circle walk. Every day before you get into your car, you got to walk around your car and just do a general check of like, oh, how's my car doing today? Is it any different than it was yesterday? Just doing a general check on the car. You walk around the car and you check, is everything still good? Is everything still look the same way? Or are there any abnormalities over the time that I've used it since the last time that I used it? Why do we do this? Because it is a lot easier for you to take care of a situation when you're in the safety of your home or in the safety of a parking lot than it is for you to take care of a situation when you're going 80 miles an hour down the interstate. Safety first. And what does that look like when it comes to our personal finances? An emergency fund. Before you try to start going gung-ho against your debt and trying to like do all of this stuff, first, get an emergency fund in place. It is so important that we get an emergency fund in place because like I said earlier, life happens and life will happen. It's a lot easier for us to take care of business when we can actually adjust to it and have these things in our pocket than when we don't. And so the first thing you need to do is save up at least $1,000 for my single folks. For my married folks, I usually say about $3,000 to $5,000. If you want to get a little bit more in debt, figure out what your deductible is on all your insurances. So for example, on my car insurance, my deductible, I believe, is about $2,000. On my house, my deductible, I think, is about $3,000. And then for my health insurance, I think is $1,000, which means that I need at least $3,000 in case anything should happen to my house. Because this is the minimum amount that I have to pay before my insurance will kick in to cover all the rest. So this is like your baseline emergency fund, your starter pack emergency fund. It is important we have this in place so we don't have to take on more debt in order to just survive. It's important we put these things where they need to be. And then now we can walk into step 3, which is it's time to drive. It's time to take action. You know, I find it ironic a lot of the times people think about all these things and talk about them. They may even look at their finances, look at how they're spending their money, do all of this stuff, but then they never actually put it into action. It's like talking to your friend and he's telling you, yo, I'm going to Florida. And he tells you all the stops that he's going to make. He tells you all the places he wants to see. And then you ask him when he's leaving and he's like, what are you talking about? And you're like, but you said you're going to Florida. Or even worse, he says he's going to Florida. He puts all these plans in place and then he just chucks them out. And it's like, yo, then what was the point of doing all of that work? It is pointless to do step 1, 2, and 3 if you never actually start taking action to start driving and taking control and actually paying off the debt. And the easiest way to start taking action is to automate it. So one of the favorite ways I love to drive is cruise control. I love cruise control because when I was younger, I used to get speeding tickets galore. Man, I used to get so many speeding tickets. I have a lead foot. My leg would just be on that pedal flying down the interstate. And then I'll get tickets. And then I'll be mad. And so one day I discovered cruise control. I could just set the speed that I wanted. And I'll just get to my destination when I get to my destination. That's the same thing that happens with your money when you automate it. It removes the potential problems you can run into when you have to always be making decisions. You see, there's something called decision fatigue. Every time we make a decision throughout the day, it wears on us. Our brain uses a lot of energy and it gets tired very quickly. And so your brain wants to make quick decisions. This is why we jump to conclusions. This is why if we hear a rustle in the night, we don't think to ourselves, oh, let me go see what it is. No, we think to ourselves, run. If you're in an unfamiliar environment, it wants to make fast decisions. Your brain is lazy. And so how do we help our brains out? By automating a lot of decisions ahead of time. So that when we're emotionally charged, we're pissed off because work didn't go well, we're pissed off because our friends didn't do something, and we want to go spend and splurge. If you automate your finances properly, you open up your bank account and be like, I guess I can't do it because I ain't got no money. Automation is so important. Now, I'm not going to go into exactly how to do all of that. There's a link down in the description of how to do it. Ramit Sethi has a great video on this. You can go check that thing out. Or you can check out his blog as well. Again, both of those will be linked down in the description or in the show notes, so you can set this up for yourself. But automation is one of the most important steps in this whole thing. Automate your finances. It's going to make your life so much easier. And now we're moving to step 4. Step 3, we've put everything in place. We're driving, we're taking action, we're moving. Oh, and by the way, on the point of taking action, please do not wait until it's 2023 for you to start doing any of these things. Take action right now, like today. Like if you're seeing this before the year 2022 runs out, do not wait. Please, I beg of you, do not wait. Because you know what usually happens? We don't. So take action right now. Step number 4, use your rear view and side view mirrors. Continuing the theme of driving. Use your rear and side view mirrors. We all know when we're driving down the interstate, it's good practice to just look at your side view mirrors just to know what's around you, just to know what's creeping into your blind spot. So you know, like, okay, I see that there's a green car that's kind of entering into my blind spot. I got to make sure, keep in mind, so if it goes past me, I know it's gone. I'm going to use my rear view mirror, see what's happening behind me, make sure that I'm taking control of everything around me to have an idea of what's going on around me. What does that look like when it comes to our finances? Simply review how your money is going. Take time. When you first start this, you're probably going to have to do this on a weekly basis to make sure all your automation is going to the right places. Make sure your bills are being paid on time. Over time, it will become like a 1-month thing where you do it in less than 15 minutes where you're able to review your entire finances. Now, if you're married, it's going to take a little bit longer because both of y'all have to continue working together and dialogue. And this is a good way to vision cast and talk about what it is that you want to accomplish in a new month. But review your last month. Always take the time to make sure things are still in the right place. Always take the time to make sure there's nothing that's kind of starting to slide into your main view and sliding into your blind spot, and you're starting to spend money in excess in certain areas. Review. Always go back and review. There's a reason why we have rear view mirrors. But the key thing to remember is don't spend all your time always looking at the rear view mirror. There's a reason why the rear view mirror is small and your windshield is big. Because the aim is to stay focused on the goal, is to stay focused on moving ahead, not just look at, oh man, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. It's already happened. It's moved on. All you can do is review it and adjust. Review and adjust. And then step number 5, the final step is have fun. Have fun throughout this process. I like Ramit Sethi, who says, spend extravagantly on the things that you love and cut mercilessly on the things that you hate. Find the things you actually enjoy to do. Not the things that society tells you is cool. Not the things that your parent tells you is cool. Not the things that your brother, sister, whoever it is tells you is cool. If you like to travel, save so that you can travel. Cut out on eating out. Cut out on buying new clothes. Cut out on a bunch of other things so you can travel. If you like to eat out, cut out on buying new clothes, traveling, and all these other things so you can eat out. Whatever it is that you love to do, spend on those things. One of the things I love when I'm driving is I'm in the car and I'm listening to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. It takes me to a different place. I can learn so much. Or listening to music. I vibe out. I celebrate. I cry. I jump for joy. I worship God. I do all these things. It is enjoyable. I'm having fun in my car. I see it all the time when I'm driving down the road and we're stuck in traffic. I look over. People are yelling, getting upset, honking their horn, getting pissed off because we're in traffic. There's nothing you can do about it. You're in traffic. So why not just enjoy that time period? I love it. I'm in traffic. I'm like, yo, this is perfect. Nobody is disturbing me right now. I can listen to what I want to listen to and enjoy it. So have fun. Figure out ways to enjoy yourself. Enjoy this journey. Like my sister said to me one time, she said, life is not just to be survived. Life is to be enjoyed. Life is to be lived. Which prompted my response and my new favorite slogan, which is have fun, but don't F it up. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all learned one, maybe two things out of this entire thing. And if you did, share this podcast with one person that you love, one person that you hate, and one person you're just kind of like about. And by that time, you'd have shared it with every single person that you know. But it's been your boy Kelechi. I'm going to catch y'all up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all. Oh, and a side note. When you're going through this process, you may discover that the solution you need is to make more money. Make the hard decisions one time. Do not renege and go back and forth. Make every hard decision one time. One time. Do the hard things so that life will be easy. I'm gonna catch y'all up in the next one. God bless each and every single one of y'all, and I'm out. Peace. Whoosh.